How long does a divorce typically take in North Carolina? Well, first of all, you must be separated for a full year before either party can file for divorce. And that means you have to be living under separate roofs. After you have been separated for a full year, the actual divorce process is relatively easy. One of you has to file a complaint that alleges when you separated and that you've been separated for a year and that you intended for that separation to be permanent. And then you have to get the other party served. They have 30 days to file an answer. And if they don't file an answer, we can go forward with getting the divorce judgment entered. One thing that's really important when you're divorcing in North Carolina, if you own property together and you have not resolved that through the entry of a separation agreement, we need to file a complaint for equitable distribution to preserve the equitable distribution claim before the divorce judgment is entered. That way, the court can later, after you're divorced, come and divide the marital property between the parties. The legal steps in divorce in North Carolina are: number one, separate from your spouse and live apart from them for a solid year. Number two, file a complaint for divorce alleging that you've lived apart for a year and that you intended for that separation to be permanent. Three, have your spouse served. That can be by them accepting service, signing something in front of a notary saying that they received the divorce complaint, or we can get them served by the sheriff or through certified mail. And after they've been served, they have 30 days to file an answer where they can allege that no, they haven't been separated for a full year. Most people don't do that. And then after their time has passed for them to file an answer, we can move forward and get the divorce judgment entered. In North Carolina, most people do not contest a divorce. In more than 23 years of practicing law, I've only had 2 cases where the other party contested the divorce and said, no, we haven't been separated for a full year. But if you do encounter that situation, you would simply need some documentation to show that you have lived separate and apart for a full year, perhaps a utility bill or a lease agreement or something to evidence that you have actually lived under separate roofs for a full year. Mediation is a great tool to resolve conflicts that surround divorce. Mediation is a process through which you, your spouse, and a trained mediator talk about the issues and try to reach an agreement. There are 2 types of mediation in North Carolina. If the only issue that you are facing is a child custody dispute, you can go through the court-sponsored mediation program, which is free. Your tax dollars pay for it. Through that process, you and your spouse will participate with a mediator, generally over a Zoom call. Your attorneys are not involved at that process. If you're successful in reaching an agreement through the custody mediation program, the mediator will reduce your agreement to writing and send it to you and your spouse to review, as well as your attorneys. If both parties sign that agreement and return it to the mediator will have the judge sign it, and you will have your child custody case resolved. The second type of mediation in North Carolina is private mediation. In private mediation, the parties, their attorneys, and the private mediator meet to try to resolve all issues. This is the best type of mediation to try if you have multiple issues to resolve, like child custody, child support, property division, alimony. The mediator is paid for by the parties equally, and the mediator is generally a family law attorney who has special training to be a mediator. Mediation can typically take a full day, sometimes even 2 days, but it is time and money well spent because generally mediation results in a full resolution of all issues, and then the parties don't have to go to court. If you have questions on what to expect in mediation, or if we can help you through the mediation process, we'd be glad to help. Give us a call at Advocate Family Law.